Six Nations 2023, folks, is just around the corner. Who are the favourites? Is it the reigning champion French? Is it the number one ranked Irish side? Is it the English or the Welsh with their new coaches? We're going to go through them, and you guys can let us know your thoughts. Of course, these odds are coming from bookmakers, so take them with a degree of caution. But the bookies got it right last year, so we'll see how close or not you guys reckon the bookies are this year. We'll go through them team by team. And we've got the draw to go through as well. You guys can let us know your thoughts. I should say, if you want any rugby gear, check out England Rugby Store down in the description. They're having all kinds of New Year sales on. And it's not just England rugby gear as well. I saw they've got French gear. I saw they had some Barbars gear. They got all kinds of gear. So if you want some rugby merchandise, check out England Rugby Store and see if you can pick yourself up something on discount, preferably. Because otherwise it can be pretty pricey. But anyway, Italy finished sixth in the Six Nations last year. Are they the lowest ranked side according to the bookies? The answer is a resounding yes. The Italians are given a 0.6% chance of coming out on top of the Six Nations. Now, obviously, the Italians are a side on the improve from last year. That is reflected in the bookmakers' odds. 0.6 is up from 0.2, so only paying $151 this year to win the Six Nations. So if you bet $1 on the Italy to win the Six Nations and they win, your dollar will come back to you with 150 friends. So wouldn't that be nice? But realistically, I think the Italians will be looking to do what they did last year, pick up a win, maybe try to avoid the wooden spoon, but I don't think anyone's really got them as a potential championship contender somehow. Home to France. The Italians did okay against the French last year in the scheme of things, away from home, but it's still going to be a tough game. And then away at Twickenham, home games against Ireland and Wales, followed up by an away game against Scotland. So traditionally you would say Italy's probably targeting the home game against Wales based on what happened last year, or the away game against Scotland. But either way, we'll see how this young and improving Italian side goes, if they can prove to be a banana skin for anyone and genuinely make it that none of the games in the Six Nations are easy. For Wales, with Gats in charge, have the bookies given them a bit of boost in terms of their odds of becoming Six Nations champions? The answer there is no. No, Wales are not given a heck of a lot of chance. 5% chance of winning the Six Nations, that's paying $17. Down from 7.6% last year under Pivac. So, yeah, I guess last year's result reflected in the odds here. Home against Ireland is potentially easier than last year's away to Ireland, but still, that's not the easiest introduction for Gats, or reintroduction back into the Welsh camp. But like I mentioned, there's not really any easy games in the Six Nations, so you got to start somewhere. Then away at Scotland, home to England, and then the away trips over in Europe, Italy and France. I'll be curious to see what kind of side Gats sends over to Italy. I do seem to recall some sides later on in the comp have sent not the strongest sides to Italy, but that may depend on how the Italians are looking and also how the Welsh campaign is going. We saw last year, certainly the Aussies rung some changes when they went to play Italy and they got bitten for it. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see how the campaign goes for Gats. Now, for the Scots, disappointing last year, I felt. They let us down when they didn't go and get a second round win over the Welsh, although I remember in my Super I picked Wales to win that one because I was confident Scotland would muck it up, and they did. Is this the year they don't muck things up? History would say no, but optimistic hearts and minds among Scottish fans, if there are any. I can sometimes include myself in the optimistic camp for the Scots. Think things might go a little bit better, but the bookies say no. The bookies say 5%. Same as the Welsh, $17, and also down from last year's 7.6%. So the Scots and the Welsh, not as highly ranked. Not that they were highly ranked last year, but even lower ranked this year. Away at Twickenham first. I thought maybe that's a chance to catch the English before they can get settled under Borthwick. Home to Wales, away to France. Remember, they're the only side in recent couple of years who's managed to get an away win in France. And then Ireland and Italy. So the Irish one, I've talked about it before, is the one that the Scots could use to get that monkey off the back, because it's been a wee while. And with that World Cup draw looming, World Cup fixture looming later on in the year, it'd certainly be a nice one for their old mentality to get a win over the Irish, but the Irish side's looking pretty mean. So 5% it is for the Scots. England finished third, or the same points as Scotland last year, in what was a pretty disappointing campaign. How are they ranked this year? Well, they are ranked marginally with 17%. Certainly that's better than what we saw from the two previous ones, with Scotland and Wales ranked lower. But it's also a decrease from what we saw from England's rank last year. Last year they were given a 24.2% chance, so genuinely seen as one of the contenders, whereas this year they are kind of, by the bookies' predictions anyway, seem to be a bit of an also-ran. 2 home games though to start with, Scotland and Italy. You could argue based on last year's rankings that those are kind of nice ways to warm up, and then Wales away, always going to lift their game when they play England. But like I said, these are the spots these teams finished last year, and these are the first 3 games that England have got. So for Steve Borthwick, he doesn't have to play Ireland or France in the first 2 rounds. So maybe that is a chance for a little bit of optimism. But the bookies would pretty much have you believe nope. For Ireland, Ireland were given a decent chance last year and a slightly improved one this year, 36.2%. Remember, Ireland had to go to France last year, whereas this year they are at home in that second round. They're away to Wales first. Maybe also a chance for them to catch Gatland before he's able to get all his ducks in a row, but Wales is pretty familiar hunting ground for Gatland. So you got to have a feeling that second round game could be a title decider. Away to Italy and Scotland, and then the final home game to England. Just the 2 home games for the Irish, but looking at the fixtures, those are probably 2 of the ones they want to play at home. So Ireland, $2.35. England were $5, if I forgot to mention that. Where does that leave France? Well, if your maths is good, that leaves them in the same spot as Ireland. They are equal favourites for the Six Nations this year, both paying $2.35, both on 36.2%. That's the same odds France had last year, but France are not alone on those odds this year. Last year, it was kind of France first favourite, England and Ireland second favourites. This year, it's France and Ireland equal first favourites. So away games to Italy and Ireland. You got to think about it. Maybe like with the way the draw works, France always get in Italy first. It does maybe give them a chance to warm up if Italy is traditionally the whipping boy, but then also it doesn't give them a chance to potentially rest players later on in the tournament to do a bit of depth building, which some of the other sides get when they play in the 4th or the 5th round. So yeah, away to Ireland, home Scotland, away England, and then home against Wales. It's going to be interesting, folks. So kind of unsurprisingly, the French and the Irish are the favourites with the bookies. It is interesting they don't have an out-and-out number 1 favourite. But yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts. What do you reckon? Do you think the English are deserving of that spot, so far ahead of the Scots and the Welsh, but so far behind the English and the French? Would you have any of these teams a bit higher and lower? If you think you know your predictions for the Six Nations, do join in the Super Brew pool, which I'll put down in the description. That's just a free predictions game we play in the last few years. I came second last year, heartbreakingly close, but not close enough. I have won that pool before, but not last year. Anyway, you guys let us know your thoughts, and I will talk to you guys again soon. See you later.